Good morning. I call the meeting to order at 8:30 a.m. and welcome. In consideration of others and the business conducted today, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized by the chair. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora, and we appreciate and respect your presence at this meeting. Madam Clerk, would you please conduct roll call?
Thank you. So at this time, I'll conduct an oral roll call vote. If everyone could please respond with the word present when their name is called. Board Member Jarvis,
Present.
Board Member Davis,
Present.
Board Member Klinger is absent today. Vice Chair Nolan,
Present.
Chair Snyder.
Present.
So let the record show 4 members are present.
Thank you. Don, would you please do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now there's going to be reordering of and additions to the agenda. Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda? If there's none, I request a motion to accept and file.
No, we can go ahead and just move on. That was only if we have something to,
Oh,
so
okay.
you're good.
Okay, good. And then at this moment, I'm gonna go over public comments. We have received one. Nita Ulloa, would you please join us? Welcome and thank you for being here.
Morning. There we go. Hi, good morning. I'm Nita Ulloa-Padroni with the Glendora Police Department, and I'm here today just to give a little reminder to the fact that I am going around to businesses. I've hit most of the retail in the village and doing sort of security assessments, and that's something that is very important. We'd rather be proactive than reactive, so we just look at the premises, see where your cameras are, suggest cameras to you, suggest that there are not a whole lot of window coverings in your windows. Keep your lights on, keep your registers open, all the flippers up, or your cash register till turned over so that people can see and not break in trying to get to something that's not there. So that my suggestion is to give me a call. You can call the regular police department number and they'll just say you need crime prevention if you can't remember my name. And they'll send you to my phone and I'd be happy to do that for you. And any other issues that you might be having, whether they be homeless, we do have a homeless liaison. So we can have Officer Meeker come out and speak to you about that. And this goes to any of the businesses in the community of Glendora. So thank you very much.
Any comment, any questions to Nita?
I haven't received any other public comment cards, and I don't have anybody on Zoom, so we're welcome to close the public comment.
Okay, thank you. We're closing public comment period at this time. And I'm gonna take board statement reports. I'm gonna invite the board members to provide a statement of and reports. Board Member Jarvis,
Nothing to report at this time.
Board Member Nolan.
I have nothing. The only thing that I would have to report is that I've reached out to Louise, who is running our website and our social media, to try and get access to some of the analytics for that, just to see. She gave a report last time about some of the numbers, number of users, visits, that kind of thing. And I'd like to dig a little bit deeper into who's coming into that website and where those people are going, if they're making it to some of the business websites, so that we can potentially provide more of a service to to the local businesses and connect them with actual web traffic. So, and I'll maybe have more to say about that in the next month.
Okay, thank you. Do we need to add these to the agenda for our next meeting?
For discussion, yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a motion to put that on the agenda for next discussion?
I don't know that it needs to be discussed officially.
You just want to bring the analysts?
I just wanted to let everybody know that that's something that I'm trying to do in the background.
Thank you. And then, for me, I just wanted to go over a little bit of two items. One, the wine walk. There were, cars that were parked right in front of my business, blocking the, my store. And I'm at the very end and like it's very dark and I didn't really have music or anything. And, there were four cars and unfortunately that affected my, the event for me that night. So I just wanted to know what happened. And then, I don't need an answer right now. I just want to bring it up and, leave it on file. That doesn't happen again for next events. And then, also there's been all these things about like, trucks, food trucks, flower trucks. And I do want to bring this, up to discussion for the calendar for, the agenda for the next meeting. I understand that they do have permits and everything, but then as the bid, since we have, an additional, fee that we're paying and everything, how can we, prevent this, like, kind of like instead, like what we were talking about, like being proactive instead of being reactive? And not wait until like all the food trucks and flower trucks and whatever trucks come in, and just because they are parked legally, does it mean that they have the right, like, to do it, like in the village? Or if we need to consider and think about like, the additional fees that we are paying to be part of the village. So, I would like to make a motion to add that to. the
Agenda is that
next-
for the next meeting? Okay. Do we have a second?
What's the specific problem?
I think what she's talking about is there's a flower truck that
Right. And
generally it's parked on Glendora Avenue, just north of Bennett, but there's times recently it has been parked up into the village there. I guess that could be considered the village where it is right there also, but it's been right in the midst of the village. And you're starting to see more and more food trucks
Yeah.
around over on Glendora Avenue also. And I think what she's saying is that, we're paying a extra fee to have our businesses in the village there. And these people are able to just have a business license and park wherever they want,
Oh, they're actually selling
Yes.
things?
Yes.
Oh,
And-
I thought you were talking about like the food service delivery trucks. that
Oh.
go up and
no,
down Glendora
no.
Drive. Because I would say, you you
No,
could
no,
make a
no,
case
no,
that
no,
that's
actually,
not,
No, they're actually selling. And, also part of like what you're talking about in terms of the marketing and everything, some of the businesses are even announcing that there's gonna be a food truck in there using our marketing because it's announced on the village, Glendora Village, social media and all the platforms and everything. So it's also using that part of like the money that we're using for,
Yeah.
for
totally.
our marketing purposes.
well, I was gonna say too, that was all, that was for an event and that was associated with a business downtown. Just so that you know.
That's what
Uh,
I just said. That's
Okay.
what I was just saying. And then they are using our social media and the things that we are paying for, they're continuing to do it. They are doing it again for Mother's Day and they keep doing it. So
Are we talking about like the real estate businesses that have kind of open house events? Or is there an actual event with a specific food truck that's not related to a business?
it is, but it's both. So it's, an event that's related to a business that's in the village that invites it's a flower truck. And then they announce it on our social media and our platforms and everything. That's one. Then the other one is like they're parking off of Bennett and,
Mhm.
Glendora Avenue, north of the village. I mean, that part is not considered a village, but, or like what would be part of like the bid. So,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, and I understand, I mean, like I understand about permits and licenses and everything, but like, what does that mean for people that were paying, to be in the village?
Because I know, like, I think Southland Properties had a Kona Ice truck. And so, if you're the ice cream shop, you could make a case that affects your business. You could also make a case that that the real estate company is just having an open house. It's their event. They're inviting their own people to that. So yeah, that would be interesting to discuss further.
So it sounds like I'm hearing two things. So one, on the food trucks, we did make a presentation. I think you requested it, but then you weren't able to make it to the meeting. So we can dust off that presentation and bring it forth again. But really that is the state law where our hands are tied to what we can do with food trucks or any kind of vending truck if they have a permit and are parked legally. But we can dust that off and bring it back. And then you guys want, if there is a, agreement to bring forward, maybe discussion on, it sounds like you guys are talking about, or what Delal's requesting is parameters for marketing. If you guys want to put ties, as to what can be marketed, that's something that you guys can decide if you want to put limits on that. So you can ask for a second if that's what you're asking for.
Yes.
Well, I mean, she's our marketing executive. Shouldn't we just talk to her directly about what things that we want on, her to be advertising for businesses in the downtown
Well,
only?
that's what you guys have to decide. Like I was hearing Matt say that, do you want to allow a business to promote their event? And if they're bringing someone else
Well,
in,
that's
that's
what I mean.
on them. So you guys could discuss
But Dalil's
that.
saying that she's our marketing person is marketing directly for the food truck or directly for.
Well, it's for a business that's
So
having an
what I
event.
understand about what Louise does is that she takes anything that is tagged Glendora Village or anything that is an event or anything that looks like it's associated with Glendora Village and reposts it to our social media account. So let's say that there's a food truck and they say, hey, we're going to be in Glendora Village on Tuesday nights and it's taco night. She's going to pick that up and she's going to say, hey, oh, this is a Glendora Village sort of thing, and she'll repost it on our social media account. If we want to be more selective and say we do not want to feature anything that is outside of the bid member businesses, then we can make that clear to her. That's probably not immediately clear to her as she's reposting things that are coming up Glendora Village.
Right. So it sounds, we shouldn't really be discussing too much details right now. Like, I think we're kind of getting away from what the rules allow us to do. So that's why if you guys just can agree, we can bring this back for next month.
I'll
where you guys
second
can
it.
discuss. Thank you.
Perfect.
That's what I'm looking for. I just need a second.
Okay. I need a vote.
Are there any objections?
No.
Okay.
Seeing none, we'll put that for the agenda for the next one.
Okay.
Perfect.
Then we go to, if I'm correct, and I'm not skipping things, special items.
Actually, the liaison, do we have any
I'll save my comments for
Oh,
the end,
perfect,
just some
okay.
updates.
No problem.
So then, I call, President CEO Josina to report.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Joe, I'm President and CEO of the Glendora Chamber of Commerce. Chamber's a busy place all the time. So last night we had our annual State of the Schools. This year it was just the schools live at Citrus College. So we had the president and superintendent of the college and then both superintendents of both districts speak. Great presentations, a lot of great stuff going on. The video that was videoed, so I'm putting that together and that'll be on our YouTube page and the Glendora State of the Schools website, probably by Monday. Also coming up is our Cuisines of the Foothills. It is live again like we used to do it. It's not restaurant week. It will be May 17th, which Village Eatery's in it. So come on out and try some of Don's food. It's May 17th at the Country Club. There are 2 levels of tickets, VIP and the general admission. The VIP gets in earlier, and some special cocktails and some fun stuff. So you can get your tickets at cuisinesofthefoothills.com. We did announce that we are looking for our annual business awards. We're looking for the Business of the Year, Nonprofit of the Year, Sustainable Business of the Year. And then we also have a new member and a Ambassador of the Year award. Those last two, the chamber kind of picks those and the committees, but the first three, it's up for any business that's a member of the chamber that gets nominated, and we tally those, and then we celebrate those at our installation and awards dinner the last Wednesday of June on the 28th, again at the Glendora Country Club. Probably start about 6 o'clock. So you can go on our website to nominate your favorite business. In the advocacy realm, through our Legislative Action Committee, we've been working on different bills that are going through the state legislature, dealing with local government control, hiring practices, the definition of what a family caregiver is, which if you own a business, pay attention to that one. And so many more. We're also going to Sacramento on the 16th. You know, great planning. The day before Cuisines, we're gonna go to Sacramento. Now, not everybody, but we're gonna go up there and sit down one-on-one with a couple of our representatives. Going up there kind of with a positive note, what can we support? Type of thing, not just because, you know, we love to just oppose things because new taxes, new laws, all that kind of stuff. No one wants that. But we're going up there. There's a lot of good stuff coming out of the state in regards to that. So we're going to be doing that on the 16th. See what else. And we have our normal networking workshops. We actually did a workshop a couple weeks ago on security cameras and such. So, you know, if you're interested in that, we have a source for those. And then we have our coffee mixer tomorrow at Spaghetti Eddie's. So we're gonna have breakfast there, have the whole place to ourselves since they're not open for breakfast. And then next week we'll be in the village for our networking lunch. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but yeah. Any questions?
You, Joe?
No?
No
Okay.
question. Thank you
Thank you.
always for everything you do. We're going to consent calendar. Does anyone wish to comment on item number 3?
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Do
I'll
we have a second by? So we have a motion by Board Member Jarvis, seconded by Vice Chair Nolan. I will open up the voting. If you guys can please vote on there. I'm gonna do an oral roll call vote. Board Member Jarvis,
Yes.
Board Member Davis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nolan,
Yes.
Chair Snyder,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
And thank you. We're going to unfinished business. The 2023 Wine Walk and Beer Festival review. I'm gonna invite management analysis Alicia Sunula to report.
Good morning. This should be pretty quick, just to kind of go over the wine walk that was held back in March. This year's annual wine walk and beer fest took place on Saturday, March 11th. The event featured 24 pour stations and 4 beer stations on Glendora Avenue, which is 6 more pour stations than the previous year and 1 less beer station, again from the previous year. Similar to last year, live music was played at the north end of the street and was very well received. Despite the rainy morning, the wine walk was a sellout event. Considering the tight inventory for last year's event, we made sure to prepare slightly more than last year. We went ahead and purchased a few more wine glasses, so the event anticipated 1,200 guests. That was a target goal. With this being said, 1,512 wine glasses were purchased. 1,219 tickets were issued to the public. This number was comprised of 1,139 full admission tickets. So those who wish to enjoy hors d'oeuvres and wine were able to do so, and 80 non-drinker tickets were purchased as well. This year's ticket prices did increase from last year by $10. The last time tickets were, or the prices for tickets, were increased was back in 2018. Pre-sale tickets increased from $40 to $50, and regular admission tickets increased from $45 to $55. The price increase did help offset inflated costs of basic expenditures, as well as allowed for a better wine selection this year. So to quickly go over expenditures, as everyone is familiar, the Glendora Wine Walk and Beer Fest is included in the bid's adopted budget, which is a part of the bid's annual plan that is adopted each year. The budget for this event was $20,000. And as you can see on the slide, expenditures did exceed the budget very slightly. Just to quickly go over each line item, 72 cases of wine were purchased at $9,525 total. Wine glasses were $3,790. A restroom trailer was available at the event by the bus plaza, and that was just under $2,000. To have PD come out on the street for the night was just under $2,000. A wine disc and the step and repeat, excuse me, that were included, that included sponsor logos was about $600. A marketing material was just under $1,000. Banners and signs were about $150. And every year the bid donates $500 to the Glendora Education Foundation to go ahead and serve alcohol at the event. We use, I believe, Valerie, their permit. If you wanna elaborate,
ABC requires
yeah,
a
ABC
nonprofit.
requires a nonprofit, so that's what we choose to do every year. And unlike previous years, we've always been able to secure donated entertainment. This year was that was not the case. So we went ahead and the bid went ahead and purchased a band to play at the north end of the street. This year it was Silly Rabbit at $700, which again was very well received. Miscellaneous items for the variety of stops was right under $500, so that included the pour stops and any additional materials that the pour stops needed. Balloons, water, and ice was $236, and the ABC license processing fee was about $50. So that's just a quick look at the expenditures, and again, it was just slightly over, not even much to mention. So probably the more exciting part of this whole presentation is the revenues. Getting to the more exciting part again, the projected revenues for the event was $40,000. And if you look at the slide, the actual revenue that was generated was just over $70,000. So much more than was anticipated. You see, so while the last couple of wine walks have exceeded the budget, as this year, I believe this was the most successful wine walk financially that we've had, which is always a good thing. There was $59,962 in ticket revenue, and the raised ticket prices definitely helped contribute to that raised amount. And $4,800 was generated from the pour stations. I'd also like to point out that that also increased from $180 that was charged last year to $200 this year. So we raised that by about $20. There were a number of cash sponsors, very similar to previous years. The largest sponsor being Athens, and the others are listed on the slide and separated by sponsorships type. There were also a few in lieu sponsors. So those sponsors that donated time or a service are also included on the slide as well. That included wine acquisition, balloons, and the photography that was provided at the step and repeat. A couple weeks after the event, Valerie, myself, and the Wine Walk Committee did go ahead and debrief on the event, going over things that were done well, things that we could have improved on, or things that we can add for next year's event. And there were only a few, and we'll also take into consideration what was mentioned in the board comments as well. The first being that we could have a little more entertainment. There was only one band at one end of the street, so we'll look into that next year. The second would be to arrange to have more than one restroom trailer. We heard that there was a little congestion at the restroom, so we'll look into getting another one for next year. And lastly would be to clean up, to look into a cleanup crew, either to come in late that night or early in the morning, considering how many people attend the event, and also the foot traffic that downtown Glendora gets. We definitely want to make sure that there are no glass or trash in the street. So overall, the event was very successful. The event coordinator had a good handle on the event from the inception that she got it to the day of. Matt and the committee did a great job planning and pulling off the event. And at this time, we asked the board to receive and file this report.
I'll make a motion to receive and file this report.
Second.
Okay, so we have Vice Chair Nolan and Board Member Davis. I will now conduct an oral roll call vote. Board Member Jarvis,
Yes.
Board Member Davis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nolan,
Yes.
Chair Snyder. Motion carries 4-0.
Business Improvement District Advisory Board, fiscal year 2022-2023 financial report through, March 31st, 2023. And bid expenditures for fiscal year 2022-2023 year to date. I'll invite, Management Analyst Alicia Zuniga, to report.
Morning again. So today we're looking at the bids financial activity through March 2023. So 75% or about a third of the way through the fiscal year, as well as expenditures through April 18th. I believe the report you have in your packet notates March, but it is April. So we're looking at that as well. Included are almost all expenditures for the wine walk, with the exception of PD services, which again, were just under $2,000, as I mentioned earlier. Everything else should be included in that revenue sheet that you have in your packet. When looking at this time last year, it is a little difficult to compare March of this year to March of last year because of the time that the wine walk was held. Last year, if you remember, it was held in June. So this year looks a lot, or I'm sorry, March of this year looks a lot more plentiful than last year, and that is why, for the most part. Let me see. So compared to last year, revenue again through March is roughly $35,000 more than last year. I did want to note that assessments are a little less than 50% at this time, which again, we should be looking at about 75% of revenue for this fiscal year. So we're a little under, and again, that is just because of the vacancies downtown. Other than that, the other expenditures through this time of this year are about what they should be. And again, the bid is in very good fiscal health. So not too much to go over at this time. So this is going to be a receive and file item.
Thank you, Alicia. I request a motion to receive and file.
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Actually, we have
Oh, you have one.
Board Member Jarvis.
Okay.
Oh, you going to vote it? All right, so there we go. So Vice Chair Nolan as a motion, seconded by,
I'll second.
okay, perfect. So now we'll conduct an oral call vote. Board Member Jarvis? Board
Yes.
Member Davis?
Yes.
Vice Chair Nolan?
Yes.
Chair Snyder?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
And then we're going to item number 6, discussion on Friday Night Twilight 2023 event. I invite Management Analyst Alicia Zuniga to report. Am I saying your last name
Alicia, it's
correctly?
Alicia Zuniga, yeah.
Alicia,
Yes,
okay.
and this will be the last time you'll be hearing from me this morning, and we'll be good to go.
I might as well say your name
Yeah,
right.
there you
So
go.
Alicia Zuniga, thank you.
No worries. Okay, so this last item is just to briefly go over the Friday Night Twilight event. This is the last event of the fiscal year for the bid, so we just wanted to kind of go over what that is going to look like moving forward. Just a reminder, these are events that occur Friday nights, typically at the end of May, but since we're starting a little late, we're looking at June through, I believe, the beginning of August. So Friday night events in the village, they're not really restricted to any one type of event. It's just to kind of stimulate activity in the downtown area. So we'd like to discuss how to move forward, whether you guys would like to, or the board would like to go ahead and designate a chair and committee, or if you guys would like to look at possibly hiring an event coordinator. Just please keep in mind that if we do, or if the board decides to go ahead and go with a coordinator, we would have to do that very quickly. If you're looking at the option to go ahead and designate a chair and committee, you can also possibly split that up between a couple of people, designate certain events and dates just to make it a little more feasible and not so time consuming for any one person. So we just kind of wanted to get the bids feedback on how we like to move forward with implementing and executing this event for the summer.
Thank you, Alicia. Any discussion?
So basically, you guys have, there's $4,000 in the budget, and there's basically June, July, August, so roughly 12 nights to plan for. Could be anything from entertainment, music, game nights, bubble parties in the past we've had. But we don't have a committee or an event chair right now. So if there's any of you or two of you maybe want to volunteer to set something up, or we can go out and see if we can find a coordinator. It's just that going through that process might take some time, so we might lose a couple Fridays. And with the improvements on Mita and the bus plaza looking to be finished, it's a great opportunity to have some activity in the downtown village and make use of those areas. That's what they're intended for. So we're looking for discussion to see if anybody wants to volunteer to head something up. In the past, we've also had the event chair reach out to businesses who would sponsor. So 4,000 is not a lot for 12 nights. So they would utilize sponsors, reaching out to other businesses who would help even coordinate with the evening. But there just takes somebody to really organize and plan and reach out to other businesses with that.
So since we're not having the chalk walk this year, and since we have a little extra in our budget, can we increase the budget for this event?
We can, well, we have 4,000 right now, correct? So we have 4,000 right now, and then it will actually renew. Actually, we don't have 4,000, we have 36, right?
So through June 30, we have $3,600, and as of July 1st, that budget for this event will go ahead and replenish to $4,000 coming out of fiscal year 24's budget.
I see.
Yeah,
That means that
it
that money-
covers 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That
Gotcha.
would-
Okay, so that's good. I'll go ahead and volunteer to chair this event if that's okay with everybody. If
I got a
anybody
question
wants to
real
help
quick,
me.
You said something about we're not having the chalk festival. I didn't know that.
We have, because of the improvements in the street
Oh,
right
okay.
now, we have construction going on, so we had to delay it because of the construction.
Yeah, is there also a possibility, knowing that there are businesses that like to have open house events and things like that, that we could maybe tie that in, so that they have an opportunity to use these Fridays to do some of that?
One of the problems that we have had in the past with the Friday night events with businesses sponsoring the events is they tend to have the music or whatever in front of their business. Like I would prefer, or we all should prefer to have it in a central section for, everybody to enjoy. I mean, we're all putting on this event, and it's for the community. It's not just for any particular business. So, yeah, that's my only concern. I mean, I don't have any problem with eliciting the businesses for their help, but they should understand that, this is for the community. This is to support, all businesses in the downtown area, and yeah.
Yeah, and then use those improved spaces to
Right.
to do them.
And then for the sponsorships, are we going to do kind of what we've done in the past with like the Chalk Festival, where we can invite businesses from like Glendora or other areas to help sponsor, or?
So typically, I think what they would try to do is reach out to the Glendora Village first and try to get people. And if we're not getting response from anybody within the village to sponsor something, I know in the past, sometimes they've gone outside and brought in outside people, but for the most part, we try to keep it internally as best possible.
Mhm.
And if if you guys want to help Kathy, and there's no harm in having 2 event chairs, if anybody's really interested. If not, we'll help her out and she'll have to manage. But if anyone else wants to assist, that's fine too.
Or if you know any
If you have any
musicians or
ideas.
anything.
Musicians?
Yeah, musicians, any bands. If you have personal contacts, let me know.
Yeah, I can give you contacts. Oh, yeah, but I cannot commit to chair or co-chair with you.
I'll be happy to help in whatever way I can, and give you whatever contacts I have.
Thank
There might
you.
be some people associated with APU who are here over the summer that might be able to help. So
Great.
Okay, so, I request a motion to receive and file.
Actually, it's to approve a plan for 12 nights from within June through beginning of August for the Friday Night Twilight 2023 event and chaired by Board Member Jarvis. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Yeah, I'll second.
Perfect. So we have a motion by Chair Snyder, seconded by Board Member Davis. I will conduct an oral roll call vote. Board Member Jarvis,
Yes.
Board Member Davis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Nolan,
Yes.
Chair Snyder,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
I invite at this moment the all board members and staff to make any closing comments. Any comments?
Okay. I have a number of things just to go through. So first, we talked about the improvements in the village at the Bus Plaza and Mita. Those are looking to be complete at the end of May. You probably noticed they've already started painting out there and the fire pit was lit up. I know that that's operating now. So we will probably, the city will probably have some grand opening celebration in early June. So that's coming up. Also, you have the demonstration project out there for the crosswalk improvements. I talked to the transportation manager this morning. Just want to remind everyone, those are temporary. They're not pretty because they're temporary. So we don't put a lot of money into temporary stuff. The goal is just to see, are they liked and how are they received and are they helpful? And so he also has a survey out. I sent an email out. So if you guys can take the time, he'd like to get your feedback, and it's a Survey Monkey. So it's surveymonkey.com. /village crosswalk. So if you guys haven't, take the time to take that survey for him. Also, just to remind you guys, you should have received in the mail, we are within our annual process, our annual renewal of the assessments. So if you, every year we go through this process. On May 9th, we will have the first public meeting for testimony on the assessments that everyone pays in the activity at the council meeting on May 9th. And then the public hearing where if anybody wishes to dismantle the bid, that's on May 23rd for the protest, to issue protest votes. Alicia and I have been working on outdoor dining to make sure all of the restaurants are in compliance with the new code that council adopted for the rules on outdoor dining. But I just also wanted to bring that up to everyone so that everyone is aware. If you have things outside, I think we might be looking into regulations for putting things on the sidewalk. Technically, nothing's allowed. So we want to encourage everyone to keep a 6-foot clearance at all times. So that's basically, if you're going to put something out, don't put it within the sidewalk area. It should be outside of the red ribbon area, if anything. And then lastly, just to let you guys know, an update on the workshop that we had been saying we were going to do as a follow-up to the survey conducted at the end of last year. We sent out a poll on what date would work well for most. Of course, we didn't get such great response, but based on the dates that we did receive, we are going to be checking availability on the room, and we are tentatively saying we're going to do that on June 5th. I don't think all of you can make it that day, but we did want to get the best attendance we can. And Alicia and I will plan to make some little invitation and try to walk into businesses and drop that off so we can get more than committed. And also we want to make sure we include people on Mita and the outside areas that even if there is zero assessment, we want to pull them in and see how can we, better assist everybody within the BID boundaries. Eventually, maybe there's some benefit where we can look at assessments on those paying zero, but we want to make sure they are part of the village as well. So what can we do to provide a benefit to them? So June 5th is what we're looking at in the morning, one for 10 a.m. That's it, right? That's it.
Thank you, Valerie. Do we have any comments? Any other comments? Okay, the meeting is adjourned at 9:09 a.m.